What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Welcoming you to WTV10 here in Waterford with another Friday Roundtable. So much to talk about, including, you guessed it, baseball, opening day. We'll let Tyler roll this off first.
Absolutely. Yesterday, for many of the teams, the opening day happened. Several, of course, shall start played tonight, surprisingly, and the Yankees and Giants played on Wednesday night. But for the Tigers, they won 8-2 against the San Diego Padres down in San Diego yesterday for their opening day game. And one of the highlights came from a surprisingly quick prospect from the minors, Kevin McGonigal, who had such an impressive spring training. He skipped time in Toledo and jumped straight from Double-A Erie to the minors. Here's a double from his yesterday. Roll clip.
Boy, how about this situation right here? Kevin McGonigal's first major league at-bat. Bases loaded. Nowhere to put him. He's got a great eye, makes really good swing decisions.
Yes, he does.
And
he had a walk earlier in the game as well, which is how I scored up 1-0.
He can hammer. This is a great situation right here for McGonigal.
We think.
Line drive down the right field line. It's going to drop and score two. Keith is home. Green right behind him. Torque over to third. Throw to second. Not in time. Kevin McGonigal, first major league at-bat, is a two-run double, and the Tigers take a 3-0 lead in the first.
Welcome to the big leagues, Kevin McGonigal.
Yep, welcome indeed, Kevin. You are now officially with the big boys. And I like to just point out those two dashes you saw near the team logos. They introduced automatic ball strike, ABS, to challenge whether the ball was open as a fan reaction, a strike or a ball. And each team now gets two challenges. If you successfully change the outcome of the play, you keep your challenge. But if the call stands, you lose one of your two challenges. It's initiated by either the pitcher or the batter if you disagree with the home plate umpire's call. Now, like I said, remember, you get two. Use them wisely. That being now back to Kevin. He had a good day yesterday. 4 hit for 4. I really like this guy's future, and I really cannot wait to see how guys like Framber Valdez and Justin Verlander are doing in the starting rotation as we go deeper into the season. The Tigers play 2 more against the Padres tonight and tomorrow, off on Sunday, rare as that is, and then 3 against the Diamondbacks for their home opener. Now, in other news, the Chicago Cubs, not the best of opening days, if I would say so, Mr. Waxman.
You're not wrong about that. 10-4. Okay, way less than ideal start to the season. And, out of the random, Ben Johnson was in attendance for opening day. And this is how we honor a Chicago hero. This is how we honor Ben Johnson? Really?
Ouch.
Guys, come on. We got to be inspired. Okay? Yeah, the Cubs, they got some things to work on to start the season, most notably bullpen and defense. Thank goodness this is just the first game. Thank goodness it's one game. They don't have a game today, but tomorrow they'll play the Nationals again, and I think they play on Sunday.
Yep, that's correct.
So a day off to get some things right and assess, okay, what went wrong and what we need to do better. But the season's a marathon. I'm not too worried about it. Just disappointed because Ben Johnson was in attendance. All of Chicago came ready to rock out at Wrigley. And honestly, this is for you. This is a stinker. That was a stinker.
Yeah, not the best of starts for your Cubs. Also, who had a disappointing game. Well, the Wednesday, I mentioned the Yankees and Giants. They played Wednesday night on Netflix, who has the rights additionally now to the opening night game. They have the Field of Dreams game between the Phillies and Twins and the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia this year. So only one more game to worry about and the Home Run Derby. But anyway, as far as the game itself, the New York Yankees easily took care of the Giants 7-0. Ouch.
7-0. Also, one other thing I wanted to add with the Cubs. And yesterday, as I was preparing my notes for today's Friday Roundtable, I've just got word that the Cubs and Nico Horner have actually agreed to a 6-year extension, and a credit to WGN-TV for breaking this news.
Chicago's very own Broket. Nice.
Yep, very key piece to this Cubs lineup. It's nice to see the Cubs and Nico Horner get things taken care of early in the season so we could just focus on getting the bats louder and, of course, having better bullpen work, better defense. Just, focus on playing baseball and let's bounce back. It's one game. Mm-hmm. And if you're a Tigers fan, you got to be feeling really, really happy about the way your team performed. 8 runs, that's a lot en route to victory. And as we saw in that clip, one of the Tigers rookies with a welcome to the league, kid. The best possible welcome to the league type moment.
Absolutely.
Detroit, they look like every bit of a favorite to come out of the American League this year. And now when you got a rookie that starts his career like this, you start to realize we might just have more firepower and depth than we first thought.
Anything is possible, but let's not get too carried away because, like Jake says, only one game, and we have a marathon. It's just a marathon, like we kept saying last year, for good reason. Also, this also broke. Jason Hayward, I think, is a member of the 2016 World Series winning Cubs, calling it a career.
Thank you, Jason Hayward, for being a Cub, and congratulations on a fantastic MLB career. Wish you all the best in life after baseball.
Yep, and great for Nico Horner to get that extension. I remember him with the Tigers as well. And, yeah, I'm glad he's doing good in the Windy City.
Yep. Hey, every piece helps, Mm-hmm. This is a Cubs team that I expect at the very least to make the playoffs, if not the World Series. Again, I'm no baseball knower, okay? Baseball is not my strong suit, but I know that both the Tigers and the Cubs, they're gonna have good seasons. And honestly, I expect, getting tongue-tied here. I expect the Tigers to at least challenge for like the AL crown. Whereas for the Cubs, I'm hoping for a postseason appearance. I don't know if they'll have enough to be a World Series team, but you never know. Mm-hmm. There's so much to be determined. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, okay, not the best start for the Cubs, but long ways to go for the Tigers. This is just the beginning of what you hope is a very special season. And before we shift gears to March Madness, Tyler, did you have some breaking news, some like rather shocking breaking news out of the world of golf?
Yes, we have received word from various sources that Tiger Woods was involved in a rollover crash earlier in Jupiter, Florida.
Oh, man.
As things stand, conditions are unknown. I don't expect him to be golfing for a while.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate to hear about Tiger Woods. Thoughts and prayers are with his family. And like I said, having no news or a condition unknown, it can mean a lot of different things. Either there's no news, which sometimes is the best news, or we don't know, or maybe there's just stuff that we don't know, but it might be worse than expected. And the best thing we can say is no news at this time. So one of two ways. Don't know what to tell you, but I hope Tiger Woods makes a full recovery. I'm thinking of his family, and hopefully he'll be able to golf sometime this year.
Yeah, I hope for the best. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, man. And now we can shift gears to March Madness. Before we get into the action of what happened yesterday, I thought we'd start off by talking about this crazy coaching carousel that's going on in college hoops right now. And, of course, the big story, Hubert Davis. Tyler, would you like to start things off?
Yeah, he gone.
He gone.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, really. After that early exit by the Tar Heels, I've been hearing rumors that they could go with Phil Jackson. Really?
Phil? Okay. Sorry, I just got stuck. Wait, Phil Jackson?
I don't know if there's any meat to those rumors.
Yeah, I don't think North Carolina is going that direction. I really don't think so. I've got a list of candidates that they're going after, but before I get into that, just a quick thought. Well, Hubert Davis, all right, he got the job. He succeeded Roy Williams, and while he did take the Tar Heels to the Final Four and the national championship in 2022, he was just too inconsistent. And at North Carolina, being inconsistent, it doesn't cut it. Like, he made the Final Four in the national championship the first year he was there. Then he missed the postseason, then made it back, and I think got to the Sweet 16, lost to Alabama. And then the following year, they just barely made it. And this year, they made it, had that 19-point collapse. And I think North Carolina said, you know what, enough's enough. This Hubert, good guy, but not our guy. And I think North Carolina has made I think, sadly, they made the right call. I do hope Hubert Davis gets a nice job afterwards. I wish him all the best, but, you know, this is a blue blood. And when you got a blue blood like North Carolina, the expectations are going to be sky high, and so too is the pressure. And speaking of candidates, as my man Tyler mentioned, wow, North Carolina, they're going after the best of the best. Like, they're looking at guys like Tommy Lloyd, who is in the Elite Eight with Arizona. You've got TJ Otzelberger, who is coaching the Iowa State Cyclones. Of course, they're playing later tonight. And then Dusty May of Michigan. I don't think they're going to take Dusty.
Yeah, no chance on Dusty.
No Dusty for North Carolina. They're also, I heard something about Mark Few as well. We'll see about that. And then Nate Oates could be a possibility. Mark Byington of Vanderbilt among candidates. And again, thanks to CBS Sports for listing out some of these candidates. But North Carolina, they are looking at a big name, and they're going to throw pretty much a whole table of money at each and every one of these candidates. There's no question about it. We'll find out who they end up with.
Yep, we got plenty of time to worry about that.
Yep. So there's the North Carolina story. And here's another one that just threw everybody off, including myself. So it was announced, I think, by ESPN. So Bill Self was... And so ESPN or someone put out a story that Bill Self was retiring, and then a few hours later, Bill Self came on to social media or some network and said, "Hey, these rumors have no meat to it or no ground to them. I'm not retiring." So
Dang.
I think it might have been ESPN who leaked the news that he was retiring. So man, that is a absolute huge misfire. I mean, here's the thing: I know Bill Self he's had some health issues in the past and has had to step away from some games, but it would have shocked him retiring, if it were true, of course. It would have came as actually a shock. I mean, I would have thought that would have been years later, but here you are with another controversy. Okay, coach is retiring. I'm not retiring. I never said that. Someone spoke words for him. That's what Bill Self is pretty much getting
Basically. That's just, wow.
Yeah, that's a March Sadness. Like, come on, whoever leaked that news, come on. You got to talk with the people around the coach. They'll tell you more. Like those who are in close contact with the coach. And if that had been true, that would have been 2 blue blood jobs open. But nope, just one. And in other news, so the Butler Bulldog. Here's another one. So amongst all the hires, one of the big names or one of the big stories coming out of the coaching carousel, besides the North Carolina Tar Heels, and of course, Bill Self saying, "I'm not retiring." The Butler Bulldogs have their next head coach and another alum in Ronald Norred, who played point guard for those Butler Bulldogs teams that went to back-to-back Final Fours. So for those of you who don't know, Ronald Norred, he has been the assistant for the Atlanta Hawks. And here's the thing. This will be his first coaching job.
Dang.
So, oh, man. I don't know if you're a Butler Bulldog fan, I don't know how you're feeling about this. I don't know how I would be feeling about this because Butler is a program that needs somebody with experience to lead the way. And this is a guy that's fairly green. Like, he's been an assistant at the NBA level, but the NBA and college are 2 different things. And look, I know it's going down a level and that stuff, but it's still 2 different games. This is going to be his first. And I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it works out for Butler, but this is an extremely risky hire for the Butler Bulldogs.
We'll see if it pays off.
Yes, sir. And going to run through the list real quick. So, other big news in terms of head coaching hirings. Will Wade, who was coaching the NC State Wolfpack, they were in the first 4. They got eliminated. He is now headed for Louisiana State University. He'll be coaching in Baton Rouge. I think, as far as I remember, that's his alma mater, so another homecoming there.
Not bad.
Gerard Calhoun, he is going to be going to Cincinnati to coach the Cincinnati Bearcats. Credit to USA Today for all this news and that stuff. And Casey Alexander to Kansas State. Alan Huss takes over for Sean McDermott at Creighton, Brian Hodgson to Providence, Randy Bennett to Arizona State, and Jerry McNamara to Syracuse. I will say this. That's a big one right there. Jerry McNamara to Syracuse. They've been still looking for their replacement for Jim Boeheim, the great head coach. So it'll be interesting to see how things turn out for the Cuse with their new head coaching hire.
All interesting hires and movements there for in the World College basketball. And who knows what could happen if any of the programs that don't make the Elite Eight or the Final Four make any moves.
Yeah. Okay, we may have a tournament going on, but that does not mean the offseason hasn't already begun. And now we turn our gears to the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. And I'm going to start off by saying this. The Sweet 16 last night, the first 2 games of the Sweet 16 last night, they delivered on the drama, on everything that college basketball fans want, from a close game to action to everything you could want. And the Sweet 16, the first 2 games delivered. And I'm going to start off with a moment that shocked all of college basketball. This is a moment from Nebraska and Iowa. Can we see the clip, please?
All right, now. Well, how about Sturz? Jamarcus Lawrence, you put all that. Look at this pass. Oh, my goodness.
Let the announcers tell you what's going on.
What happened? Wait a minute. I think Nebraska only had 4 defenders on the floor. They did. Rink Mast is not on the floor.
Wide open.
Mm-hmm. Notice the numbers on the screen. So basically, what this video is showing us is in the closing moments, in the Sweet 16 between Nebraska and Iowa, Nebraska was down a man on the court. And I don't mean someone was down due to injury. They had 4 guys on the court. Only 4 guys. And I'm still trying to figure out what the heck happened. Oh, my goodness. And from what I understand, Nebraska head coach Fred Hoiberg, he took responsibility. He said, this is on me. But this just blows my mind. How does this happen? I'll let Tyler take it away real quick. Yep, that's all our reactions are.
Yeah, in soccer, if you're down a man, mainly because if in non-injury situations when you have a player get red carded for ejections and you're not allowed to substitute. But here, what just happened? Someone goofed up big time. Like 4v5. The math isn't adding up.
Sports fans, what you just saw, sports fans, that was not fantasy, okay? That actually happened last night. Like, this is something we never see in college basketball. It's one thing if a guy goes down due to injury and you've got a 4-on-5, but a 4-on-5, as Tyler mentioned, because a substitution went wrong or somebody forgot they were supposed to be on court. I still do not know what happened. I have to take a deeper look into this, but this is a March Sadness moment, and I feel so bad for Nebraska. They had a great run. They've not only got their first tournament win ever, they make their first Sweet 16. They had a chance to go to the Elite Eight for the first time in program history. They were locked in a close battle with Iowa, and you lose the game because of an error unlike anything we've ever seen. Like, I don't know if this has ever happened before. I'll have to look that up, or at least at the March Madness level, like, how does this happen? Tyler, like you, I'm stumped. But I also will say this. Congrats to Iowa. First Elite Eight since, I believe, 1987. And they've got an opportunity to go to their first Final Four since 1980, over 40 years ago.
Dang, that's so impressive. And seriously, all Big Ten matchup there last night was pretty cool, and with 2 teams in the American Heartland at that.
Absolutely. And guess what? the Big Ten fans, you're spoiled again because they'll have another one on Saturday. And Iowa, all that stands between Iowa and their first Final Four since 1980 is the Illinois Fighting Illini. Another team from the Big Ten, another team looking to end their Final Four drought. The last time Illinois was in the Final Four, 2005. They nearly won the national championship that year. Ended up losing to North Carolina. But first of all, congrats to Nebraska on a great season. They fought hard. They played well. I'm sad for them. I'm just sad that their Sweet 16 came undone by one of the rarest mistakes I have ever seen, and unlike anything I've ever seen in college hoops.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen. I'm in agreement there. I didn't watch the game, of course, but I'm just like, how did that happen? How?
I only saw a replay of it as I was watching the game between Purdue and Texas. And speaking of Purdue and Texas, what a game. What a finish. Purdue, they had to scrap for it. They had to work hard for it. And this game, if you are a March Madness fan, this game lived up to the hype for you. You wanted a close game. You wanted you wanted a photo finish. You got one. Let me show you. Can we see the video of this photo finish? Here it is. Braden Smith lays it up, and who else but Trey Kaufman-Renn to finish it off for Purdue. Of course, 0.7 seconds left, and that's a game winner. And then off the backboard, and the celebration begins. Purdue to the Elite Eight for the third time under Matt Painter. Trey Kaufman-Renn. What a moment for him. What a game. And like I said, you know, we want these kind of moments in March Madness. Okay, if you're a fan of a particular team, you want your team to blow everyone out in March Madness, but sometimes there's no better way to have it than you got to work. That's March Madness. It's not the prettiest game for Purdue, but it's fight and survive at this point to get to not only the Elite Eight, but to give yourself a chance to go play the Final Four in Indianapolis, of all places. And Purdue and Trey Kaufman-Renn, thanks to his efforts and his clutch tip-in, because Braden Smith missed that shot. Thankfully, TKR knew the assignment. And I think also Braden Smith had the trust, knowing, okay, I can lay this up, and Trey Kaufman-Renn is going to go up there and tap it in. I could trust him to do this. And that's where experience comes into play. But here, thanks to guys like Trey Kaufman-Renn, Purdue has set themselves up with an Elite Eight showdown with the number one seed in the West, Arizona.
That's going to be fun. And, hey, we got more Big Ten goodness with Michigan and Michigan State both playing their games tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, before we can get, like Tyler said, before we can get to, the Elite Eight, we still got the Sweet 16 is heading into night 2 or day 2, whatever you want to call it. Tyler mentioned Michigan and Alabama. That is going to be a good contest. Alabama, they love to shoot the three. But that being said, Michigan, they got all the depth, all the scoring depth, the defensive depth, everything. That Michigan has looked every bit like the number one seed that we expected them to be. And I think that with the pieces that they have in place, Tyler, I think they're going to be just a little too much tonight for Alabama. So I got Michigan winning this one.
That's good.
And, of course, we got Iowa State and Tennessee in the Midwest. So the winner of that game goes to the Elite Eight as well. Tennessee, Rick Barnes, give those guys some respect. I mean, bit of a down year, and yet that Tennessee in the Sweet 16 for the 4th straight year. And Rick Barnes, man, that guy deserves more respect than he gets. That guy, he's turned Tennessee, a program like Tennessee. Of course, Tennessee is known for success on the women's side, but just not as much on the men's. Decent success on the men's side, but they're still looking for that first Final Four, and they'll have a chance this weekend. But, they got a tough matchup with Iowa State. Another team that can play ferocious defense, much like Tennessee.
Yeah, that's some pretty juicy matchups, that's for sure, in at least the Midwest part.
Absolutely. And, of course, Tyler, you mentioned Big Ten schools. You mentioned Michigan schools. There's also MSU tonight playing in the Sweet 16 against who else but Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies. Not going to be an easy matchup. UConn, they got returning veterans like Alex Caravan, but can't overlook Tom Izzo. He knows how to prepare a team for March, and once again, he's got these Michigan State Spartans ready to play. This game could come down to, I think, whoever it comes out of the long few days off ready to play. And the winner of this game will get the winner between Duke and St. John's. A lot of questions about how close to 100% Duke is going to be going against a very tough St. John's team. They still got some injuries Duke does have. But with that being said, if Duke can just manage, they can keep it close with St. John's, and if it's a close game, Duke's going to have a chance. But if St. John's is able to stretch those margins and those runs, because basketball is a game of runs, it's going to be tough for Duke to overcome this vaunted St. John's team. And by the way, before I forget, the East region stacked with in terms of coaching. I mean, you got guys like, I mentioned Tom Izzo. You got Dan Hurley. You also got John Shire, the successor to Mike Krzyzewski. And, of course, Rick Pitino, who's coaching St. John's.
Dang, Washington, D.C. tonight and Sunday have got some fun coaching legends at it at the Capital One Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, it feels like an all-star coaching lineup. But right in the nation's capital for celebrating 200. Okay, is this another way we're going to celebrate 250 years? We got to have the best coaches in college basketball co-coach in D.C.? Okay.
I mean, it's a happy coincidence of that. I'll give it that.
Yeah. We'll just go with it. We'll go with it.
Let's go as a coincidence.
And also, almost forgot to mention, the Illini who are in the Elite Eight playing Iowa, they ended Houston's revenge tour. Houston came into this NCAA tournament looking to avenge their loss to Florida in the national championship. Well, revenge tour over. It ended in the Sweet 16. And
in their home city, no less.
Yeah.
Sorry, Houston.
Yep, it is. Illinois, not even their best game offensively, but defensively, the Illini, they were playing lights out, and Houston just could not build any consistency on offense. Ended up making a huge difference in the game. All right, to close off this subject. All right, I'm going to try not to get too emotional, but if you're a Purdue fan, you got your team, the Boilermakers, they have a golden opportunity, but it's not going to be easy. They are going to have to play a very vaunted, very talented, very deep Arizona Wildcats team. But if this Purdue team can find a way, if they can keep this game close, because I do believe this Purdue team can beat Arizona. I do believe they can. I'm sticking with my pick. I've got Purdue winning it all, and I still believe in the Boilermakers. If they can keep this close, stay with Arizona, frustrate them on defense, and that, if you can take Arizona's game, throw it back in their face like you did against Michigan, Purdue is going to have a chance to win this game. But if Arizona does what they did to Arkansas last night, well, then Purdue's going to be going home to West Lafayette instead of going home to Indy. Fine difference, of course. But this class wants it. These Boilermakers, they won it. The desire's there. They got the experience. Do they have okay, Purdue's going to have to play its most legendary basketball on Saturday if they want to beat Arizona and play a home Final Four in the heart of Indianapolis.
And not to mention Michigan State both have to really step up their game tonight and on Sunday to have the opportunity to get to the Final Four as well.
Yes, indeed. And who knows? Could be all Big Ten, like this year's Final Four in Indianapolis.
There's Iowa State's Big 12, and then you got that all Big Ten matchup we had earlier.
Yeah.
So
what I meant to get at is, like, if you got teams like if Purdue comes out of the West, your Michigan Wolverines, they come out of the Midwest. If State finds a way through, and of course, South in terms of the South. Either way, we're gonna have a Big Ten team coming out of the South. We could have an old Big Ten Final Four. You just never know. Of course, it's very unlikely. That's all I'm saying, but one could dream.
Yeah, why not?
One could certainly dream, but as a Boilermaker fan right now, I won't sugarcoat it. I am nervous going into this game against Arizona. Nervous for the team because it is, like I said, it's going to take everything the big three of Purdue has. Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith, Fletcher Laurie. They got to be at their very best, and we need guys to step up if we're going to have a chance to take down Arizona and make it to the Final Four in Indianapolis. I mean, how cool. I keep picturing this in my mind, how cool it would be for the Boilermakers to play in the Final Four in the heart of Indianapolis. They got to earn it first, though.
I mean, look at Butler. They had that opportunity back in 2010, I think it was.
That's right. I do remember that. And they went wire to wire with Duke, and they had a chance. That last shot, I still remember that. It just bounced off the rim. One can picture what might have been had that shot went in. Butler would have a national championship, one of the biggest upsets, of course, in NCAA basketball history, and, of course, how fitting, a national championship in their home city, literally, which is not too far from where the campus of Butler is. And for the record, I have been to Butler before. It's not too far from downtown Indy. But to play, it's special when your team gets to play the Final Four in a city that's in literally the same state as the team you root for. And with Purdue, West Lafayette is not all that far from Indianapolis.
I know that feeling of when Michigan State made it to the final natty in 09 in Detroit.
That's right. I do remember
that next. Hope we get something like that next year.
Don't forget, sports fans, next year's Final Four, heart of the Motor City. That's going to be fun too. And I'm happy to see Detroit get another shot at hosting a Final Four. Yep. Sorry.
I mean, of course, we were supposed to like Frozen Four in 2020, but then the pandemic hit, and not getting a chance to host that until like 29 or something, or maybe or later. We'll see.
Yep. So to close off this final subject, one of two things is going to happen for the Purdue Boilermakers. They're either going to be going home to West Lafayette, or they're going to be going home to Indy. There's no in between. It's one or the other, and it all comes down to what happens this Saturday. And I'll just say, boiler up, hammer down, hail Purdue.
All right, let's have some fun.
Woohoo!
This is definitely not a March Sadness type of situation.
Yeah, this year's Sweet 16 so far, it's been everything we could want. It's been pretty exciting. And hopefully tonight we get a whole lot more chaos, but glorious chaos.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Oh, yeah. Ready to have some fun. All right. We're ready to close off this show with the golden moment in sports. All right. We've all had, some reactions in the back. We've all gone crazy when our team makes a game-winning shot, kind of like how I did last night when Purdue made that shot. And then there's the father, the proud father, and so when his son makes a shot that sends your team, Georgia State, to the round of 32. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Ron Hunter from the 2015 NCAA tournament. Can we see the clip, please?
No timeouts left. What are they doing? R.J. Hunter for three.
Ouch. Greatest reaction to a shot ever. And see, he doesn't even care that he just fell down. He's like, yeah, I fell down. I'm okay. And here's the shot again. What a shot, too, from R.J. Hunter. And then his proud father, Ron, so excited, he basically loses his footing, and down he went on the hardwood.
Yeah, big time.
And for those of you also who don't know, there is a montage that plays after every NCAA tournament. It's called One Shining Moment. This was featured on One Shining Moment.
As it should be.
Best reaction to so this was the father and the son moment, but you know what? That's the best reaction I've ever seen to a game-winning shot, and nothing will ever top that, because it's not every day that not only you get so excited, but you get so excited that you go straight down onto the hardwood.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that Ron will tell you it was worth it, because he's so happy for his son.
Yeah, so worth getting your butt sore for a few minutes.
Yeah, one of the great moments of March Madness, and one we'll never forget. And that was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, crazy.
Man, time really flies.
Yeah, that it has.
All right. Sports fans, I think that's all we got for this week's Friday Roundtable. Once more, huge thanks to my man Tyler Lavalette, who's just so wonderful.
And thank you to Jake Waxman as well. It was equally important in this. I mean, this is a two guide after all.
But none of this would be possible without the people here at WTV10, Josh, Jim, Whitney, everybody who has helped us with this. Once more, thank you so much for everything. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for more videos like this. And follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook. Before we sign off, we're going to be off this upcoming week due to Good Friday.
Absolutely. So enjoy the Easter weekend. We will try to see you. Not only see you back in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And, of course, sports fans, enjoy March Madness. Enjoy the Sweet 16 tonight. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wishing you all a good night, everyone, and a good weekend. Take care, sports fans.